Well, welcome everybody to Collection Conundrum, the only game show where cyberstalking won't get you a restraining order. My name is Alton. You might know me from Half Past Blog on Instagram, and I also run a YouTube channel that nobody knows about. With me today is my co-host, Dave from Just the Watch. Dave, introduce yourself, please.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of Collection Conundrum. We're trying to iron out the kinks as we go, but I'm looking forward to the show tonight. And yeah, really excited about our guest that we got. And yeah, let's get this going.
All right. So I want to give you a rundown of the show before we go any further, and then we'll introduce our guest. We're so glad that you could join us. For those of you watching at home, here is what you can expect today. In Collection Conundrum, a guest is going to present a 5-watch collection. They must provide a theme, a value of that collection, and they need to keep a running... We're going to answer questions about that collection, and then we're going to keep a running total. So grab a piece of paper, grab a pen if you need one. It's going to be important. Each question is worth 1 point, and so we encourage you to play along. But there is one question that's worth 2 points, and that is the final question, the Collection Conundrum, where Dave and I will each offer one hypothetical watch to trade for our guest's entire collection. At the end of the game, we'll have some time for Q&A. We'll have some free chat for those of you at home. Got it? Good. So Dave, who is joining us today on Collection Conundrum?
All right. Well, today we're going to have Shane from Relative Time is joining us, and I'm really excited about this. So Shane is one of my... Whoops, wrong one. Wrong Shane. There we go. Shane is one of my favorite YouTubers out there.
Out the bug.
There he is.
Oh, there we go. We got this. Yeah. So Shane's runs a channel called Relative Time, and I have been a subscriber since he had about 100 subscribers or so. I think that's about when he found mine.
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, actually, it was interesting. So the other day I was looking through some of my old videos, and I think I actually found the point where we met, Shane.
Oh, yeah?
Let me see if I can put this up here real quick.
It's like the Nighthawk video?
Exciting, right?
Or Aragon. It was an Aragon.
It was an Aragon Fusion.
Okay.
Yeah, review of the Aragon Fusion. I found this
Cool.
This comment, and this is when Shane found me for the first time, and I found his channel through that, and we've been, subscribing and helping each other out and chatting along, so it's been fun. But Shane, why don't you introduce your channel a little bit more than I already did?
See, Shane, Relative Time. Mostly focusing on affordable watches and really just spending way too much time putting it together and trying to do these detailed, crazy macro shots, and pretty much it. But mostly on affordable watches, trying to extend out maybe just a little bit beyond that, and mostly just, I don't know, trying to give everybody a good idea of every time I look at a watch of just a kind of an experience of what it is to own one, that specific one.
One of the things I like about your channel, Shane, and I've been a fan for a long time, is your photography and your videography is astounding. Just those macros that you do, and you give a good real-world perspective, which maybe sometimes we don't always get.
Yeah, it doesn't take. It takes a lot of time to do that.
Yeah, I think when I first found Shane's channel, I was really impressed with it. And like ever since, it's like was kind of doing what I was trying to do, but doing it better. And so I was like, okay, so this is a good channel. It's gonna be a good one.
And it's always good to
I'm not even trying
to learn off of everybody, and you kind of see what everybody's doing. It's like, not copy, but see, hey, how can I do this? How can I make my channel better? And that's what everybody on here should be trying to do at some level.
Yeah. No, and I love how great you are at the detail work and catching imperfections in watches. A lot of times I'm watching your reviews and you notice things that I would have never seen, and then it's like, okay, I can't unsee this now, and you kind of ruin a lot in for me. But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing we should probably point out too is that this is the second episode, and normally in the future, the idea is that all three of us are going to be a host. It's just for these first 3 episodes, we're each taking kind of a turn just to kind of iron out the kinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So we're pretty familiar with your channel and your work. And for those of you at home, you might want to grab another device and go start flipping through his Instagram to get acquainted with his collection. But let's get to know the man himself a little bit. Shane, where do you live now, and where did you grow up?
Currently live kind of in the Dallas, Texas area. Originally grew up in Southern California, and I've kind of lived across the country at one point or another, like a few years in the South in North Carolina, a few years in Wisconsin, but Texas is kind of where I've been the longest at this point.
All
And
right.
at least I'm not getting as cold as it is in Wisconsin right now. Or Canada.
It's a little chilly up here.
Yeah, so I guess if you guys picked that up, Alton's broadcasting from Canada. I'm over here in Japan, so we're kind of very international today. But Shane, another question for you. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Probably an astronaut.
Astronaut?
That was probably the most consistent
how'd that work
thing.
out for you?
Couldn't, or a pilot, but then I realized, at least military pilots, you have to have good vision and probably want that for being an astronaut too. So that kind of killed a lot of it.
All right. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a scientist, well, a research scientist, specifically like an analytical chemist.
I'm so not
you can go into more
surprised to hear
details,
that.
but everybody's eyes are
that's
going to
not
kind of
really
gloss over
surprising,
there.
right?
No, very smart guy. That's evident.
Okay, Shane, what other hobbies do you have besides watch collecting? Anything else, or is that pretty much dominating?
Well, if you ask my wife, my hobby is collecting hobbies.
Okay.
I've tried pretty much everything at some point. Maybe not everything, but like in the past, been cycling, and camping, hiking. Consistent thing is probably computer games here and there, and then most recently, it's all been sort of attached to watch collecting, and as well as just the YouTube side of it. I mean, that takes just as much time or more time actually than the actual collecting itself, is putting these videos and stuff together. And that's something I really enjoy, is kind of the creative aspect of it, of learning how to operate the camera better, how to operate a microphone better, and then just editing it all together.
Yeah. It's kind of an all-consuming hobby that sucks you in, isn't it?
Yeah.
People have no idea how much work goes into a simple 10-minute video. Let me tell you, if you're thinking about trying it, just don't. Just stop right now. I'm kidding. It's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work. So, Shane, I'm interested to know if you have any favorite movie franchises or maybe a book series that you're into. What are the kinds of media stuff you're into?
Well, kind of a sci-fi geek for the most part, and although favorite movie series. Well, one of the problems with movie series in general is that there's always seem to be at least one really bad one.
True.
So if I was to say favorite series would probably be like Indiana Jones, except just ignore the fourth Crystal Skull, because that was just absolutely horrible.
We all do, yeah.
Book series, when I was a kid, probably like the Dune series.
Great
so I'm
series.
interested to see the new movie coming out, see what they did with it.
I'm kind of curious with that.
And these days, more the Dresden Files, just sort of a
Really?
fantasy
No way.
magic detective. Yeah, if you don't, you're familiar with it. Then.
I'm halfway through the last book. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I haven't started yet.
Yeah.
My brother absolutely loves it and keeps talking about how great it is. so
There were tears
probably have to get into
halfway through. Let me say that much. If you haven't read it, I won't say anymore. Okay.
All right, let's move into your collection that you're about to present. And guys in the chat, get ready for this, because hopefully you've been paying attention to what Shane's been saying, and that might give you some clues about the sort of watches he's going to pick. But in a minute here, we're going to try and guess which watches he's going to present before he shows it. And I want to give everyone in the chat a chance to do it too. So start thinking which watches Shane might pick. And when I tell you, I'm going to have you guys spam the chat with that. And I'll start throwing up answers, and we'll see if you guys can get any points from that. I'm going to pull you guys into the game too. So we're going to be keeping score between me and Alton to see who can score the most points. But I'm going to try and add you guys as a chat collectively. We'll see if you guys can beat us, or if we can beat you. We'll see how it goes. But Shane, talking about your collection that you're going to present today, is there a theme around it? What would you say is the theme for this collection? How would you describe it?
So the theme I came up with is Atypical Arms, and it's basically military watches, and it's going to be like pilots' watches, field watches, maybe a few other kind of things, but not your typical ones. So no standard Fliegers and no standard kind of World War II style field watches.
Okay. That's right up my alley. I love that genre. Let me ask you, what is the value of your collection? MSRP value. What is it?
Are we doing that as a question, or
Is it the
just
tier,
the range of it?
The range, not don't give us the answer.
The tier, not the
range.
actual value, but the tier. Sorry.
What were we calling it? I think it was like $1,500 to $4,000 was that one category we were talking about. So is that mid or is that higher end?
I think we called it mid-tier.
Mid-tier. So mid-tier, yeah.
Mid-tier. All right. So the total value of all 5 watches is between $1,500 and $4,000. So that's important for us to know.
Okay, so before me and Alton give our Or maybe, yeah. So yeah, before me and Alton give our guesses, chat right now, start spamming it with which watches you think that Shane is going to be presenting. Take your guesses. The hints are it is Atypical Arms, so military themed collection, but maybe a little bit out of the ordinary. And the total value of the collection is going to be between $1,500 and $4,000. So kind of give you an idea of what's going to be in there. Okay, so we got some guesses. So I'll start popping these up as they go. Shane's going to be keeping track of what you guys are saying. So we got a Hamilton Khaki King, SWC Bunker, RZE, another vote for the Khaki King, Hamilton Khaki Field. So Khaki King seems like a popular one. You guys are guessing. Okay, a lot of guesses for the Khaki King here.
Okay, but these aren't atypical. These are like typical.
Okay. Here,
Great watches.
Alden's already arguing with the answers here.
Come on, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You guys go ahead and keep throwing in some guesses. And as we go, let's see, who do I got queued up for? Okay. Alden's picks first. So Alden will share his collections.
Hey,
his picks as we go. So you want me to bring these up one at a time? Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
This is hang on.
Oh. However you want to do it, we'll do it.
Okay. Sorry. I got the slides over. Okay. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Okay, we got another vote for Glycine Combat Sub here. Okay, but here's mine. If I can get it. All right, here's mine. Okay, first one. I went with the Hamilton Khaki King too. I had that one in.
I have said how much I like that in the past.
When I heard how atypical he was going. Okay, so we got another vote for the chat, Glycine and Traska. Vario Trench Zeppelin. So you guys got a lot of guesses. So I'm going to go with the Hamilton Khaki King. I saw this new one, Alpina Star Timer Heritage. It's new, so I'm going to say he's probably going to throw that one in. And then for my third guess, I'm going with the Glycine Airman. So you guys in the chat, you hit a couple of the same ones I did. But those are going to be my three guesses.
Okay.
Now we've got Alton's.
Yeah. So I went in a different direction. I thought this looked like it had Field Watch written all over it, but it had a California dial and a pastel blue. And I'm like, atypical. Okay. What else do we have? I personally absolutely love this watch, so I'm happy to put a picture up anytime I can. The Orion Hellcat is a great one. And you know what? I'm not sure. Is it a pilot watch? Is it a field watch? It doesn't have a 24-hour marker, I don't think, on it for a field watch.
It's technically listed as a pilot's watch.
That's what I thought.
There's not a lot in there that's classically pilot.
So there you go. And number 3 is the Acura Wayfarer. Very interesting watch. Now, I wasn't 100% sure which category this fit in, but I mean, it's cool. And I know it's a prototype that you were able to get your hands on. And so there's not going to be a lot of people with this thing in their collection. So there you go. I probably am 0 for 3, but that's my guesses.
Okay, so off the bat here, Shane. So we're going to lock in the chat. No more guesses for you guys. How many did the chat get right? Just tell us that. Don't tell us that me and Alton yet.
I think I saw 2 right answers.
Okay, that's pretty good.
If we only get that's really good.
You guys got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 2 points for the chat. Okay, keeping score here. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next section. So,
yeah, now that we've gotten to know our guest a little bit better and we've locked in our guesses, now we need to find out if we were right. It's time for Shane to share his collection with us.
All right, let's see what we got.
All right, switch to the one thing I got up there.
All right.
All right. Okay. We'll keep it here first.
I got one.
So I was going to say first that this was a lot harder to do than I thought it was, because I wasn't just trying to pick, 5 of my strangest watches. I was trying to build kind of a functional collection out of it too, and one that was maybe a little bit balanced so that each watch kind of has a specific purpose or kind of a role to play and not really duplicate it too much. So there were a lot of great answers out there, but that watches I would have picked if I hadn't put something else in here. So start off with number 1, which is the Alpina Star Timer Heritage. This is one I just recently got, so that's why I kind of included it in here. It is probably one of the most unusual, interesting Pilot's GMT watches I've seen, especially because that GMT hand is that sort of mystery dial that's right in the middle, as well as having an internal bezel.
That's really cool.
And one of the interesting things here is that the movement itself, I think, is a standard Solita that they then modified so that it's like a traveler's GMT or a true GMT. So it's the local hour hand that's jumping, not the GMT hand, which is kind of unusual in this price range as it is. Plus, it's a beautiful blue dial, and you always got to have at least one kind of blue dial watch in a collection.
Yeah.
All right, so going on
or like 15 blue dial watches too.
Yeah. Number 2, the Seiko Ghost Alpinist.
Okay, I was thinking that one. I almost grabbed that one.
Now, this is another one. It's kind of it's not really unusual because people already know the Alpinist, but it is not your typical World War II kind of field watch. And it is a nice, beautiful white dial watch goes with everything. And especially when it's kind of thrown on this, beads of rice bracelet, it can sort of double as a dress watch for the entire collection. Downside to that would be that it is a bit thick. But otherwise, it's a gorgeous looking watch, especially on that bracelet.
Yeah. I was surprised how thick it was on wrist when I tried it on.
Yeah. And, it does have 200 meters of water resistance. So theoretically you could go in the water with it if you needed to. Yep. And that helps too. So number 3, the Orient Star Outdoor.
See, now I thought this would be like a total
I had that one and then that's when
I'm like, no, he won't pick this one.
No one had this because this is just a really unusual. It's listed as a field watch, but one of the things a lot of people have pointed out to me, since the review, is that especially this black dial version has a lot of like Sin Pilot watch kind of vibe coming off of it. So it's just really unusual. I love the power reserve indicator, and honestly, one of the reasons I threw this in there is, because Dave has a blue version too. Yeah. So it felt like that's one of the watches that should definitely be.
Yeah. No, I
feel
changed
left out
right before the show. I took this one out and put the star timer in, so I don't feel too bad. But
yeah. And the other thing is, this is a black dial watch, and again, you always have to have at least one black dial watch in your collection too. So moving on. Number 4, the Citizen Nighthawk 2.0. Cool. At least I'm calling these the 2.0. Yeah. A lot of people don't know, but Citizen did a refresh on the Nighthawk Pilot's watch that came out last summer. So I got one of these actually around November, and I'm actually working on a review of it right now. So
they look great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I like
a lot different than maybe not a lot different than the original, but change in the case, change in hands, changed up the dial.
It feels a little less crowded, a little cleaner. I like
that's one thing I was thinking about it because, I'll go more into that in the review itself. Yeah. But again, one of the reasons I had this is not only is it a good looking black watch, it's another GMT, so there's a little bit of overlap with the Alpina, but it's also a solar quartz watch, and I think everybody's got to have at least one quartz watch kind of in their collection. So
yeah, and I love the GMT implementation on this. I think it's just such a cool
very
way
unique.
To lay it out. Yeah.
Okay, so going on to the last one is more the wild card with this whole bunch is the Akura Wayfarer.
There you go.
It is a field watch, so there's that one question, and there's a little bit of overlap in terms of kind of functionality with the Alpinist there, but a completely different look, and it's got the red dial, and just you can use it for all sorts of other things, I guess, or style-wise in that regard. Plus, it is a bit unusual, and I had to throw in at least one micro brand.
Yeah, that's one I wish that one made a little bit further. That's such a cool, interesting watch.
And for a few, just a reference, I know a lot of people had the Hamilton Khaki King. Only reason I didn't put that in there and I put the Alpinist in instead is because it is a little close to a classic field watch, and I was trying to be a little bit more unusual. And then also the Glycine Airman. I would have put that in a week or two ago before I got the Alpina, but since they're both very similar, they're both blue dial watches, I didn't want to have too much in there.
Yeah. All right, so if I got that right, I think that means that me and Alton are losing. So that's good job.
I think you got 1 point each. Yeah,
we each got 1 point. So chat is now up ahead. Congratulations, guys. We'll see if you guys can keep your lead throughout the rest of the show. But so far, score is me and Alton 1 point each. Chat, you guys got 2 points.
Sounds good. So at this point in the show, we're going to ask Shane 5 questions about his collection. Dave and I will be writing down our answers on a piece of paper, so there's no cheating. 1 point awarded for every correct guess, and we want you to let us know your guesses down below.
Yeah, and so for this round, I'll give you guys a chance to spam the chat, and I'm going to pick the answer that seems to be the most popular. So it'll be kind of my judgment there. But yeah, so we'll go through the questions, but that's how it's going to run. So let me get the first question up on screen. You guys can start spamming it as Alton introduces it.
Yeah, so the first question of 5 is, which watch is Shane's favorite out of those 5 watches? Which one was the favorite?
Just a reminder, here's his 5 watches. So which one of those is Shane's favorite? Go ahead and spam the chat with that while me and Alton write down our answers.
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Because there's some that aren't really that expensive but are really nice. And I know he really likes. And then that Alpina, maybe hasn't spent enough time with it to fall in love, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to take a guess here. Okay, so let's see. I'm seeing a lot of, looks like the chat is torn between the Alpina and the red dial Acura, but it looks like Acura?
I like Acura.
Acura.
The guy, was he German? Or yeah, I think so.
Let's see. I think let's see. Looks like the Acura is getting a little bit more, so I'm going to go with that. So chat, we're going to lock in your guys' answer. Say Ted Black, Acura. Okay, let's have me and Alton flash up our answers here.
I'm going with my gut. I'm saying Exploring.
Exploring Orient Star. Okay, Shane, correct answer?
If I had to pick one, it's hard. I would say the Acura.
Chat again. Oh, we're totally good.
We're not doing well.
We were talking about like a punishment if we lose. What's this now? The chat's going to punish us?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Can get real dangerous real fast. Okay, good job, guys. You guys know Shane's collection better than we do. So, okay. All right, moving on to question number 2. Let's get that one up here. This one's going to be maybe a little bit trickier for you guys. But what is the total estimated value of Shane's collection? And we're going to do this Price is Right style.
Oh, darn.
And MSRP,
yes, I'm not
right?
sure. Yeah, so kind of for you guys, try and keep it round numbers so I can pick the closest round number. See if you guys can start spamming the chat with what you think, and I'll try and pick what seems to be roughly the consensus while me and Alton go ahead and give our
Can you
guesses
pop
as well.
that on the screen? Yeah.
I should have looked this up ahead of time.
I have no idea what the Acura is. No idea.
Okay.
And remember, folks, it's from $1,500 to $4,000. It's somewhere in that range.
Okay, so let's see what the chat is going. We got 3. Let's just throw some fingers in. 3,000, 2,800, 32, 22, 72. Graham, it's got to be below 4,000, man. Okay, 3,000, 30,000. Okay, 27.
I'll sell it to you for that.
Yeah, 36.
We're
35.
talking U.S. dollars, not yen.
Yeah, U.S. dollar. Yeah, not Canadian, guys. U.S.
Not Canadian.
Real money here.
$8 million.
Okay. I'm seeing 33 pop up and around 33,000. Let's lock the chat in at wrong one. Let's lock the chat in at 33,300 for you guys. That seems to be roughly in the middle of where you guys are going. Okay, so chat's going to guess 3,300. Craig G, thanks for submitting that. And then me and Alton, we get our answers up here. I'm going to go to 2799.
2,999.
2,900. Okay. All right.
I was going to go $1, but
You guys are in trouble.
oh no.
We all go over.
The hard one here is the Acura because it is a prototype, so maybe that's not really fair for this. I just put kind of what I paid for it into the whole thing, but otherwise MSRP is $3,960.
Oh shoot.
$3,960.
That means the chat.
The chat wins. But I was closer than Dave. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, and part of that is just because the Alpinist still hasn't come down in price. Well, I mean, we're talking MSRP anyways, but the Alpinist is still pretty high priced.
Okay.
And the Alpina ain't cheap either.
MSRP on that is just under $1,000, isn't it?
I
Like
think
900?
Yeah.
900 something? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's catch up on this one.
How many points does the chat have now?
I've got the chat up to 4.
Okay.
4-1. We were getting destroyed here. I don't know if there's any coming back from this. I think you guys already won.
All right. Here's a question for you. This is an interesting question because I saw on Average Joe's channel, he destroyed an F91W, little Casio. I know Dave's, I think was it your daughter destroyed a Casio G-Shock, a pink one.
Yeah, my son finished it off.
Was it your son?
It was a team effort, though.
Team effort, yeah. And so, Shane, if you had to do a YouTube video where you destroyed one of these 5 watches, God forbid, but if you had to, which one would it be?
Don't tell us the answer, though.
Yeah, no, I know.
And the answer is...
I know this one. This one's easy. This one's no problem.
You say don't say that before you know. Say it's easy, and then if you get it wrong, everyone's going to be... Okay, chat. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead and spam that one. Let's see what the chat's got. Got one guess on the Orient, Citizen, Nighthawk, Seiko. So far, 2 guesses for Night, 3. Okay, so we're up again for Citizen. Any more guesses from you guys down there? Another one. Oh, Rock the Watch. Hey, good to see you here.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, we're definitely getting a consensus here. Citizen. Okay. Alton, what'd you get?
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. All right, Shane.
Yep, everybody's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
Although
it's not
technically,
not gonna help us much. But.
It might be
Cancels
just about
it out.
as much as the Orient Star right now because it's brand new and not too many places have discounts on it. But that would probably be the one I would destroy first.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Let's see when. So okay. Next question. So get ready to start spamming the answers to this one. But next question is what watch is Shane wearing right now? So Shane is wearing one of those 5 watches on his wrist now. Which one do you guys think that he wore to the show? So start spamming the chat with that. Which watch is Shane wearing right now? Here's the 5 choices again, and me and Alton will get our guesses in here.
I got mine locked in. I know what it is.
Gotta take it. Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
See, Acura Alpinist. Acura. So that's a one-of-a-kind prototype. There's probably a few dozen.
Maybe
Less, maybe.
of the different versions. I think that version there's maybe I think 3 of each colorway were made, and the guy only sold 1 of each, and then I think he kept 1 of each, and then he might have given 1 of each to each friends or something like that. I have to look it up again. But out of the ones that are in the wild, I know Jody has one. I can't remember which color he has. I think it's like the blue and red one. And then Mike, who writes for the Time Bum, has the gray one.
Okay. So I just can't see you destroying that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty close between the Acura, Alpinist, and Alpina. Is the 3.
Let's just say they're saying Acura. We need some kind of help here, buddy.
Okay, yeah, I think so. That's the latest one. I'll go with that. Yeah, I think Acura is slightly over the edge here. Seems the most popular. Okay, we're gonna lock you guys in with that. Okay, I'm going with the Alpina. We're on international time here, so maybe he's wearing a GMT today. Might help keeping track with that. Alton, what do you got?
I got Alpina.
Okay, 2 votes for Alpina. Chat locked in for Acura.
It's
Shane,
new. I think
let's
he's
see it.
probably enjoying it.
Whoop, oh, shoot.
He disappeared.
And he's gone.
And I think you got the thing
one
right
more
over
time.
me too, but yeah, it's,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
it
Yeah,
is the
take that,
newest,
chat.
and I did wear the Acura the last episode, so a little bit of variety.
Right.
Okay.
Got in.
What did the chat say?
We locked them in with Acura, but there were a lot of
Yeah.
people said Alpina, so they might fight us
Yeah.
on it.
They're already
We need help
revolting, so
there. No, you guys are totally way off base. Way off base.
The Urban Ninja Isaiah's with us. No fair, buddy. That's all right. We make up the rules. It's our game.
Yeah, you guys are still have a comfortable lead here. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and this is a question new to this game, and it is: which watch would you pass on to a family member? Which one would you keep and pass on?
okay, so those are your 5 options. Which one of these do you think Shane would pass on to a family member? Lock that one in. While me and Alton pick our answers.
Orient Star, Seiko. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's get some chat answers in here.
I'm changing my answer.
We got another. So you guys, the chat's really going nuts for this. Kura, Alpina, Orient Star, Seiko, the Akita. I don't know which one that one is. The red one. Alpinist. Kura. Oh, there we go. There you go, Mario. Alpinist, Orient, Seiko, Orient. Okay, so we got a lot of late rally for Orient and Seiko. Seiko's getting a lot of. Okay, yeah, we're gonna lock the Alpinist in.
Okay.
We'll have you guys. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Seiko Alpinist for the chat, and let's get us back up here. All right. I went with the Alpina.
I said the Akura.
Akura.
Actually, I said the Alpinist, but then I crossed that out.
Let's see what happens.
Okay. This is a tough one. I might need to explain this a little bit. At least my thought process with it. And it really kind of comes down between the Akura and the Alpinist. I don't have any kids. I got nephews, and my nephews aren't really that interested in watches. So it's kind of, even though the Akura is probably my favorite and the one I would definitely want to save, I think they would see it, like if I passed away, they'd have no idea what it is, and they really wouldn't be able to appreciate it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it would be the Seiko Alpinist because it is more of a historic model. It's something that they could look up and actually learn about, if that makes any sense. So it'd be the Seiko Alpinist.
Yeah. All right.
Good job.
More
chat.
points for the audience.
Good job, chat. Okay, yeah, you guys are running away with it. Okay, so let's get the score up here.
It's bad.
Okay,
it's real bad.
Next week, next week you guys are hosting the show. Let's see. So if I got this right, let's see. Okay, if I'm keeping this right, I think me and Alton are tied at 3, and the chat is doubling our score at 6 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might have to make
bad.
the last question worth 3 points just to give us a fighting chance to work our way back in this.
And then you have to have a tiebreaker. That's okay.
Yeah, normally the last question is worth 2 points, but
Yeah, what was the tiebreaker from the last episode?
how much would you pay for an MVMT watch?
Oh, that's right.
How
Oh,
much would
yeah.
you pay for it? Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
so yeah, let's move on. So that's the end of the quiz round. We're gonna have one final round at the end here where we offer the trade of watches, and yeah, we'll see if we got a chance to come back in this.
Before we get to the last question, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about this collection and what we like about the collection. What I like is definitely that it's a unique collection. You didn't pick totally typical pieces. Well, it's the atypical military collection. I just bought my first Alpina, and the quality is fantastic. The brushing and the finishing, and it's just a beautiful watch. And this one, that blue dial, that orange, is gorgeous. The Alpinist speaks for itself. Fantastic watch. I mean, it's a cult classic for a reason. A little overpriced, but a great watch nonetheless. The Citizen Nighthawk, I'd love to get my hands on one of those in person. Absolutely. And you know what? I really wish, there's one point that Dave said, I've got a line on an Explorient. It's a great deal. If you want it, I'll buy it. I'll ship it to you. And I was like, nah, dog, I just bought 2 other watches. My wife will kill me if I buy a third. I should have risked it. I really should have. It's a great looking watch. And then, of course, that Akura is a fantastic piece and a real collectible piece. So that's really cool. Great collection.
Yeah, and one thing
Yeah,
I thought was interesting that I didn't know till I bought the Alpina and started looking more into the company. I think they're actually owned by Citizen now,
Yeah.
which I thought was unusual. But
The
Wait,
big
Citizen
downside
owns
to
Alpina? Oh, I didn't know
Alpina,
that.
yeah, and so they put Miata movements and everything, which is the only downside in my opinion.
But this Alpine you said has a Salida modified
it's like
Salida inside
it's like they modified a Salida. Normally, like the Salida with the GMT hand would be the one that jumps independently, and they tweaked it so that the hour hand is.
You're right. I'm sorry. I meant to say Salida.
No.
They my I have a Salida SW200 basically in my Alpina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty good movement.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I really like the 5 watches you picked too. I think I've kind of gravitated more towards military style watches in my collecting tastes also, and these are 5 excellent examples. The Orient Star Sports Outdoor, that's one of my favorite watches, if not maybe my favorite watch in my collection. So happy to see it represented in here. And yeah, I just love the kind of, they bill it as a field watch, but it kind of has a lot of that Flieger design to it. Got the power reserve, so really cool watch. Wish they would have gone with maybe 22 or 20 millimeter lugs, but it's a watch that I like enough that I don't mind buying 21 millimeter straps for it or squeezing on 22 millimeter.
Well, that Alpina actually has 23, and I didn't know that until it showed up.
Oh, really?
That's even hard.
Yeah.
It's
It's a 42 millimeter watch, so it's not that bad
Okay.
size wise, but it's like really 23.
Yeah, well, I can see how that could work because the strap really kind of matches the case size really well. It's an interesting.
That's true.
kind of
It
taper
flows
to it.
out of the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see why they did that. But yeah, especially for someone like you who I know loves to change straps, I imagine that's a little bit of an annoyance.
Yeah.
And Citizen Nighthawk's one of my favorite watches too. So I'm happy to see the new version in there.
And they might. I don't know if the old ones are discontinued. They could be, because I have noticed that the prices, at least on Amazon, have started creeping up. Because I think they used to be able to get one for like under $200, and now it's a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I think it's a really cool 5-watch collection there.
So, Dave, what do you think is missing from this collection?
Yeah, so looking at this,
Hamilton.
if you're going, Hamilton, you got a military collection without a Hamilton. That would be a good answer there. No, but the first thing I was thinking is just a dive watch. I mean, the sort of maritime history of military, a dive watch or a deck watch or something like that.
It was hard to narrow it down to 5. I almost put a Vostok Amphibia in here because technically it's a military watch.
Yeah, I was thinking there might be one in there. But yeah, something to kind of bring in maybe that diving history or that maritime history into the collection to round it out. I mean, dive watches I'm not a huge dive watch fan, but I feel like if you're gonna have 5 watches, having one dive watch would be good. Do any of these have? Oh, the Nighthawk has 200 meters of water.
And the Alpinist.
Alpinist is 200 also. Okay, yeah. So I mean, you can.
I think the other 3 are 100 meters.
Fine. Yeah.
Isaiah wants you to add a military dress watch to the mix.
That would have been the Khaki King.
Yeah.
And then another watch I almost threw in here, a lot of people don't know about it, would be it's one of my older favorite videos, Filson Mackinac, which was made by Shinola. I would have used that maybe as a quartz watch instead of the Nighthawk, because it's sort of this dive watch sort of hybrid. I mean, it's a field watch, but it's built like a dive watch with 200 meters of water resistance and a screw-down crown and a ton of lume on that thing.
To me, it's hard to talk about military watches without talking Belova as well.
Oh, yeah.
He's got somebody over there.
That's the problem with live streaming.
Yeah, it is. All right, so the next question is, if you could steal one watch from Shane's collection, which would it be? So, folks, down in the comments, if you could steal one of these and you'd get away with it scot-free, which one would it be? And I'm going to think about that one myself. I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
Sorry, that was a very persistent delivery, man.
Yeah, sure was. So right now, Dave, we are talking about which one of these watches we would steal if we could get away with it. And so the guys and ladies, hopefully, are putting their answers down there in the comments.
Yeah, let's see. So we got Alpina, Alpinist. That ALPI is just really popular in the chat for some reason. Everyone should name their watches that. You got a lot of watches that start with A, actually.
Yeah. And if you haven't noticed, most of these have internal bezels, too.
Yeah,
Except
starting
for
to
the
see a
orange
little
spark.
bit of a theme there.
Oh yeah, neat.
That wasn't planned. I noticed that after I threw this up there.
You really do start to figure out kind of the sorts of watches you're attracted to when you go through this process and go, oh yeah, maybe I like inner rotating bezels. I discovered I don't have a single chronograph, for example. You guys pointed that out last time. Okay.
So between the Alpinist and the Akura.
Yeah, but this one's not scored, so this is just
Yeah, just for fun.
spitballing here. This is just for fun.
For me, I would have to go with the Alpina. That orange secondhand just really
Didn't you
pops
just
out.
get
against
an
that.
Alpina?
Yeah, I want a collection,
Different
man.
You want another Alpina?
I bought one Hamilton, then I bought 3 more. It's just the
There
way
you
it
go.
goes. I bought one Alpina, I got a couple more on the way.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the Alpina too. I already have the Orient Star, so I have the blue version, but I don't need a blue and a black one. But yeah, that I'm a sucker for GMTs, and that's a really cool implementation of it, and just really clean.
I like it. If I was going to buy an Alpinist, I think I'd go with the 38 mil, the one without the rotating bezel inside.
See, for me, that's not really an Alpinist. I know they're calling it that, but for me, it's got to have the internal bezel to really be an Alpinist. But
I totally agree with you. But
it's a cool looking watch. Although, does it have the 4R movement or does it have the 6R? Because it's still the same price as the one I have.
I don't know.
So that's one thing I
that up.
thought. I thought about maybe ordering one, but it's like that's way overpriced for what it was.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for prices to come down before I seriously look at that.
Yeah.
I would love to pick up one of those new Nighthawks, though. They look really nice.
Yeah, I've been tempted by that, but they don't have them here in Japan.
Really?
I'm starting to find some of them come through, but yeah, for a long time it's hard to find them, and they're still really expensive. I think they're still around $400 here.
Yeah, they're pretty much like that around here. It's going to be a little while before they come down.
Yeah, that's another thing I loved about the Nighthawk. When I got it, it was kind of at the sort of the sunset time of its life cycle, so it was down to around 200.
Yeah,
and it was a great deal at 200.
And the only reason I bought that one was, now I found out about it, was like I was just looking through like Black Friday sales and saw that like Macy's and Kohl's had this watch I'd never seen before. So I started looking into it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think Alton showed me the new Nighthawk. I think he alerted me to that one because he knew I liked the old one.
A while back.
Okay, so let's move on to the final. Not final, is it final? Last, okay. So last part of the collection evaluation. Okay, so if we were going to recommend Shane get rid of one of these 5 watches and replace it with something different, which one of those 5 would we get rid of? Alden, what do you think is kind of your least favorite pick in there, or something that doesn't fit, and what would you swap it out with?
I would swap out the Citizen Nighthawk for a Belova. It's a watch that you've never heard of it. It's called a Belova A15.
Wait a second.
Hey, it's a favorite of mine. It's atypical. They're only 500 made back in the 40s, and I don't know how many have sold now, but I don't see a lot of them on Instagram.
And internal bezel.
Internal bezel, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Right up your alley.
Yeah, if I were going to get rid of one, this is a really tough one. But yeah, I think probably everyone's going to hate me for this. I would probably dump the Akura. It's a super cool watch, incredibly unique, red dial. I don't know if it fits the military theme of the collection. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, it has the internal compass, so it's like the Alpinist in that extent too.
Yeah, you kind of got a little bit of double. But yeah, that's definitely the most unique one there.
And I really love they did the date wheel in red. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I think that's and I like the handset. I love the way that line on the minute hand matches up with the ring there. Just a lot of cool little details in there. Even still, I think that would be the one that, like, I probably just wouldn't wear it, and that's where personal taste comes in. It's just not like my thing.
I was surprised how much I like red watches. After I just happened to get the comments to it. Now it's like, oh,
I haven't had a red watch yet in person, so maybe if I had it, I'd try it. But yeah, I would dump it, and yeah, I would at least get one diver in if I were going to make this like my 5-watch military collection.
So speaking of that, Rock the Watch says swap the Citizen for a Tissot Sea Star. What do you think about that?
Maybe I have to look at it. Not too familiar with Sea Star off the top of my head.
It's a little pretty for a military watch.
Yeah.
If it means we have to stick with military.
Yeah. Although somebody mentioned swap it for a Vostok in there, and I was thinking about the one. Was it the dual bezel? I can't even remember the name I had or what I called it. The one Vostok that had like the dual bezels and the GMT hand.
Yeah. Yeah, or even get like a deck watch in there.
I know I should don't. It's one I'd like to get at some point.
Yeah, because I think that's maybe that like a dive watch would I think round this collection out really well, but I think a deck watch would really fit in with it. That would look good along with these other 5 watches and match the style.
Absolutely.
And
Love deck watches.
You were what? You were at 3,300. So if you want to keep in there, or 30? No, you're 39.
39.60.
Okay. So you don't have a lot of play there. So if you're going to replace that one, you'd have a budget of around 400 or so to keep it within that same mid-tier price range. Yeah.
Do you want a Timex Time Machine Pegasus? Because someone's willing to trade you for the Nighthawk. I don't know what the Timex Time Machine Pegasus is, but I think it's a kid's watch.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Bertucci, Marathon.
Bertucci made good.
Some recommendations. Swap the Citizens for ROT Atlanticus. That's kind of a cool one, the compressor style.
Mm-hmm. All right. So are we at the final round?
Yeah, let's move on to the final round and get this done. And then maybe we'll have some time for some Q&A and just hanging out with you guys for a little bit.
All right.
Let's see. Okay.
So what's the score?
You're losing.
Yeah, that's right. We're okay.
But how bad?
So now, as Alton mentioned in the beginning, the final question is worth 3 points.
So if the chat gets nothing, and you and I both get it, it's a 3-way tie.
Yeah. So I think the way we're gonna do this is and I did think of this before I knew what the score was. I'm not just saying this because we're losing. So me and Alton are gonna offer our options first. Okay, you guys can spam the chat, and if Shane does not want to take either of our options, then he can go back over and pick one of your guys's. Okay.
All right.
So we're gonna offer him ours first. If he doesn't like either of the ones that we picked, then you guys are the fallback, and he'll be able to pick one from your options, and we'll start flashing them up. But yeah, go ahead and start submitting some guesses. I'll try and keep track of them. If you submit it early on, I might not fall back on it, but let's do it that way. So let's see who's I got queued up first here. Okay. All right, here's my trade offer. Okay. And this is kind of totally ruins the theme, but I know you like this watch. So I went with it. Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna give you an Omega Railmaster here. 40 millimeter case, 20 millimeter lugs, 150 meters water resistance. We get up for about $38.50.
Retail or Joma Shop prices?
That's Joma Shop price. Okay. Yeah, that's on Joma Shop. So fits in under that $4,000 price limit. You can get it there. So that's my offer. I'll give you an Omega Railmaster in exchange for your 5 watches. So swapping those 5 for this one, that's the one I'm going to give you. Okay, let's see what Alton's got for you.
That's a great one. One of my favorite Omegas.
Yeah, I like that one.
Now I went with MSRP. So I was thinking military watches. I was thinking Longines. And I came across this really interesting column wheel single push piece chronograph. So you operate the chronograph with the single pusher, which is kind of neat. And I thought that was interesting. Water resistance is 3 bar, but it's pretty. So there's that.
Okay, so those are your 2 options, Shane. You got a choice between, see if we can get this, Omega Railmaster or this Longines column wheel single push chronograph. You can pick one of those 2, or if you don't like either of those, you can bump back over to the chat and see what they're willing to offer you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, seen a few interesting things in the chat, but if I had to pick one of these 2, I mean, I like both of them. I would have to say the Railmaster, because that is one I've wanted for a while. Although I do question if that really fits into the theme, but I would probably trade them for a Railmaster.
Yeah, themes be darned. Here's an Omega Railmaster.
Yeah, you're kind of skirting it a little bit, Dave. I mean,
they had
the train conductor
a good one in the
supplying
channel,
the
or
troops.
audience.
That's right.
And
Come
the
on,
Black Bay
man.
58 is another good one in there too.
I call foul on this. You guys, let me know. Does that count?
It's my channel.
We still got to do a breaker now.
I said this was worth 4 points, right? This is 4 points for this question.
It was 2. Then you said 3, and now it's 4. All right. Not cool,
okay.
man.
But even okay, so if it's worth, you know what? Well, I don't want to do a tiebreaker. I'm going to give it to the chat this time. You guys, so even still, fair is fair, but that's going to put me up to 5 points, and that's going to keep the chat still keeping your lead at 6.
Well, I could come up with a tiebreaker question if you really want. I have an easy one.
So Dave, you just got 3, and I got 0, and the chat got 0, right?
Okay, we'll give it that.
So now it's 6.
Let's go to
3, 6.
Tiebreaker. Okay,
I'm the loser.
But first, let me pop up some of the chat suggestions and see what you guys see. What else was out there? See if we can find where this starts. Nope. Okay, so probably this. So we had Tudor Black Bay GMT, Black Bay 58, Speedy Pro, Tudor Submariner, Breitling Premier 40, Aquaterra. So that's pretty close to the Railmaster. Let's see. Black Hats. We got a Breitling Avenger. Yeah, a lot of Tudors. Tudors a popular offer there. Time after time watch reviews like that Longines. That is a cool watch, that Longines.
It's one I hadn't seen before. It was really neat.
Yeah. To watch
Sin
the video, see
105,
exactly how it
Big
works.
fan. Yeah, big fan of their military stuff.
Rock the watch, Breitling Avenger, 43 millimeter.
I was thinking about that watch. If you go with MSRP, though, a lot of those Breitlings and Omegas are kind of out of their price range.
A lot of love for this Longines. Navitimer. Wait a second. Hey, get out of the chat, Alton. Okay. All right, so those are some of the offers that you guys had. A lot of good suggestions there. Yeah, I like those. Okay, but so we'll play it. Let's go to the tiebreaker. Let's make this exciting.
Okay.
So you got me versus the chat, I guess. So I've got 6 points. Chat has 6 points. I kind of snuck back in there with my guess. Okay, so what's our tiebreaker question?
Question is,
cheated back in there.
I have one other watch from that collection on my desk right now.
Oh.
So which one is it?
Let's see. Okay, so you have of these 5.
Of these 5, there's one sitting on my desk right now. I'm actually looking at
right now. Sounds like Gollum. What do I have in my pocket? Or Bilbo. Okay, which one? So you've got the Alpina on your wrist. So we've got a choice of 4. So one unfortunate. What if we tie this one too? Okay, all right, chat. Start spamming. Let's see if you guys can hang on to your lead. Which one of these 5 watches is on Shane's desk right now?
Oh, Sin is in the price range. That would have been a good choice.
Okay, so which one has he got on his desk right now? Where's the Alpina?
Acura.
Okay, all right.
Orient Star.
Okay.
Is this question weighted for 6 points?
No, this one's worth 1 point.
And I will say, I did drop a hint about it earlier. Okay. It wasn't purposely on hint, but you could take it as a hint.
Oh, no, I'm really going to be kicking myself. Okay, let's see what the guesses. We got Alpina, Acura, Alpinist, Acura, Citizen, Seiko, Railmaster. Well, he doesn't quite got it yet. Acura, Seiko, Citizen. Okay, it looks like Acura's our top guess for the chat.
Leader, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to give it that. I'm going to go with the Orient Star. All right, Shane, what do you got on your desk?
Nighthawk, because I said I was working on the review.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I would only lost by 2 points.
I was literally writing stuff up like before we started. So it just happened to be here.
Okay, so we're still tied then? You know what?
Another question.
I have some other watches on my desk, but it's not. They're not
What else? Yeah. Let's see how far we can go. Let's see. Yeah, we need to come up with more tiebreaker questions for this.
Mm-hmm. All right. The audience have any suggestions for?
Yeah, do you guys have any suggested questions?
Yeah, suggest something.
You want to make a tiebreaker? Let's see what
flip a coin.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm tempted to just give it to you guys since fair is fair. You guys were leading if we didn't change the score on the final one.
Go on.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to call it for the audience. I'm going to give the chat the winners this time.
All right. Give it up for the audience.
So way to go, guys.
Audience.
You guys beat us.
Well done.
I mean, technically you beat us fair and square, even though we were trying to cheat. But yeah, so round 2 of Collection Conundrum, and the hosts lose. So good job, guys. Thanks for playing. And hopefully this was fun for everyone. I think I'm probably overstepping my script here, but I think we're going to be transitioning to a Q&A time. But as
we got to talk about our prize.
Oh,
so last week the winner got to choose an image for the loser to display.
You gonna throw that one up there?
Do you have that up for us, Dave?
I have it.
I could probably pull it up real quick.
It was a come from behind victory for Shane, and so he chose this beautiful image for Dave to post on his social.
Let me see.
Or not.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, you post too much.
Put me on the spot here.
So one of the ideas I have, you tell us at home if you like this idea, is to actually get a wheel of punishment that you would spin and the loser would have to do.
Okay, let's see if this shows up over here.
There, otherwise I got it shared up in mine.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, here was my punishment last time.
That's a beauty.
It's my new grail, a SpongeBob Invicta with a nice mother of pearl dial. You got to at least give him that, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
All right, so since the chat,
how's this going to work?
Since the chat is the winner, I think that you guys need to tell us what the loser, that's me, has to do. Really.
Well, I think it's both of us this time. Well, they beat us both.
Yeah, it should be both of you.
Yeah.
And I'll even join in if you want for
I'm happy for that.
Solidarity.
Yeah. Is there a okay, maybe Shane, do you have an email address that you don't mind giving out?
Yeah, this is Shane at relative-time.
Okay, do this. So here's how this is going to work. You guys can make an image, send it to Shane, and he will select one for us to
I love it.
do and screen it a little. Oops. But yeah, so that way if there's anything too risque, you can filter that one out. Never know what we're going to get when we throw it to the chat. Okay. What's the email, Shane, one more time?
Shane at relative-time.com.
Flash that up there. Okay. So, does that look right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys in the chat, go ahead and make up an image, email it to Shane, and he will select one for me and Alton to post on our feeds. If he wants, he can give us different ones. If you guys get a lot of good options, but yeah, send us an image that we have to post to our Instagram feed.
Well, there's one good suggestion down there. It says, let your wife pick your daily wear. Or it could be, let your wife pick a watch to sell.
My wife has very conservative taste. I tell you, watch to sell, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, no.
She'd say all of them.
This show is canceled. We're never doing this again.
Well, we do have some time for a little bit of Q&A while you guys are sending you're creating your images to send to Shane. Any questions for Dave or Shane or myself?
Yeah, let's go ahead and open up to audience Q&A. So go ahead and start sending some of those through in the chat. See what we get.
Yeah. So we might have lost everybody to the Super Bowl. We'll see.
Let's see. Oh, we still got still 49 people hanging in there, it looks like.
Not bad.
Yeah. Let's see.
Wear the wife's thong. Dude, I've been married 9 years. There ain't no thongs left in the house.
Oh, while we're waiting, I don't think me and Alton ever did our wrist checks.
Oh yeah.
We can at least burn some time with that while you guys think up some questions. So I've got on my Yamaha Navy graph. I thought it's kind of fit with the military theme a little bit. I don't know if you can see that.
Nice. I got a fancy one on today. It's a Casio G-Shock.
Oh,
It's pretty.
wait, dreaming for the summer, huh?
That's it.
And
Man.
the other watch I had on my desk is the Matthew and Sons JCB, because I just did that review not that long ago, so it's just been sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I love the idea of that watch, just like kind of a dressy, do it all. Yeah, watch.
Isaiah says there's 50 there. He's got his daughter on. Isaiah's daughter is adorable, and she's big into Transformers, so shout out to Isaiah's daughter. She has a huge, was it Metro? Not Metroplex. Omega Supreme. I think it was. Isaiah can correct me.
Awesome. Okay, we got a question coming through. So Mr. American wants to know, what advice do you guys have for someone wanting to start a YouTube channel? I think Alton said earlier, don't, but maybe we've got some more helpful advice than that. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Embrace the suck. I think I told somebody that before, because it's a long, hard process. There's a lot of learning to it, and the first maybe 10, maybe even more videos you put out are just going to be horrible. And even like a year or two later, you might not even want to watch your own videos, because it's like you've learned a lot as you kept going and keep going. So it's just kind of embrace that you're not going to be the best right off the bat.
Yeah, I
and
really
just
cringe when
try
I go
it.
back and look at my early ones.
It's hard for me sometimes.
Yeah. Alton, any good tips?
So I'm new into this. My channel is just coming up on its first anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My biggest thing is have fun with it. If you really want to make it a business and really grow it hardcore and you want to go after it, I don't know if that's a pleasurable experience for you. Just have fun with it. Take your time and enjoy it. Get to know people. But I've gotten to know some really amazing people through this YouTube stuff. So, for me, as much as I said don't do it, it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and that's another good point. Community is a good thing. Don't try to completely be on your own. Make friends with other channels and at least learn from each other, and that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah,
The support from the YouTubers is just tremendous. I mean, for the most part, 99% of us, we all know each other, take care of each other, encourage each other. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely helps to connect with some other guys that are doing the same thing and be able to bounce ideas off them and just encourage each other. That's one of the funnest parts of this. But I think for just getting started, I think like what Shane was saying, that it's a learning process. And I think a lot of people, they get into it and they were like, oh, I need to get that 1,000 subscribers and then I can monetize my channel and then I can get this and that. And it's cool when you can do that, but really I think like the getting to 1,000 subscribers, that whole journey is really the focus should just be on learning how to YouTube and how to do videos. Your channel kind of, I think once you hit that, that's when you start having a pretty good feel for how YouTube works and how to make videos. But until then, just consider the whole thing just a process of learning. And the big thing is, I think, just consistently putting stuff out and paying attention to what you like in other people's videos. Try and copy that, try and incorporate it, try and figure out how they did it, try and do the same thing. But for me, the biggest thing was I decided when I started, I was going to shoot for doing one video a week for 1 year. And that was my goal. That was the only goal I had for the channel. Do one video a week for a year, see what happens after a year. And, after a year, I was having fun. I think I had not quite 1,000 subscribers after a year, but that's, kind of about where it was. But I was really enjoying it and I was having fun learning it. And so that would be my advice, is kind of look at that first 1,000 subscribers as just a total learning experience and focus on consistency and trying to figure out what's out there.
Yeah. And maybe focus on smaller victories too. Like, don't focus on being the best review of something, just enjoy it. Like, for me, one of the things I started noticing was that some of my videos started, going higher and higher in the search rankings. So it may not have had the best amount of views, but, it's kind of showing progress that way.
Speaking about the Watch fam and the support, there's Miguel from SoCal Watch Reviews there. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Here's a good question from
again.
Mario. How long does it take you guys to film and edit a 10-minute video?
That's a good one.
Sure,
Who wants to go
look
first?
up that oriented.
Who wants to admit it?
Casey is
It's almost
asking about
embarrassing at times.
Specific orient, so I'm going to try and find that one while we answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah, Shane, why don't you launch into that one?
It's hard these days to say exactly how long because I'm not keeping track. And sometimes when I'm getting the shots for specific watches, I'm kind of gotten to the point of like maybe doing batches for a couple watches. So if I set up a little chessboard scene or something like that, I might as well have a second or a third watch kind of sit next to it and just sort of swap it in there. But on average, probably close to 15 hours for a 10-minute video. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, just depending on what it is. Some watches are a lot easier to review than others. It just kind of depends, as well as your motivational level and other things you got going on. Like if you're home and constantly getting distracted, that's always kind of puts a damper on things.
Yeah, for me, I think probably doing a 10-minute video would take me longer than a 20-minute video. Like mine typically sit around 20, and that's because I don't do a lot of scripting ahead of time, which means I do more editing and I ramble more. I think if I want to really tighten it down, it'd take more time. But me, I probably spend maybe 2 or 3 hours doing B-roll. I do a lot of outdoor shots and things like that. So I gotta travel a little bit for that. But a lot of times it's just taking the kids to the park. And then studio shots, and then setting up my equipment and filming and everything will probably take another hour or so for filming the commentary, and then editing is usually 2 to 3 hours of editing. So I can usually crank one out and probably close to around 10 hours or so.
Yeah. Editing is the longest part for me because it's just I do way too many
edits.
A
lot of shots.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff that you can put in there.
Well, I'm not nearly as polished as these guys, but it still takes me a good 8 to 10 hours to do a video. And I'm still kind of new at it, so it takes me maybe a little bit longer to do everything. I'm not quite in the groove yet, but I'm starting to get there.
Okay. Casey Hansen asked about the Orient RA. I think that's the Kamasu Red, if I'm looking it up.
I have that one. I like it.
Yeah, so let's can I flash this up here? How's this work?
I read that and I'm like, what is the RAAA?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
3R.
I got a good review on it.
Yeah, well, let's shoot that one over Shane since he has it.
Yeah, you go watch my reviews on it. I think I actually had one of the first reviews out. Maybe not the first review of the Kamasu out, but one of the early ones. Because if you watched that video, you might get a little confused because it wasn't even called the Kamasu back then. I just made up a random name, called it the Mako X, because people were calling it like the Mako 3. But it's probably, at this point, one of the things I liked is I've actually seen a lot of channels do reviews on these now and seen it slowly become accepted, and even bigger channels. And it seems like the consensus is just that it's one of the best affordable watches out there right now, because you just get so much with it. And especially as the prices have come down, sometimes you can find them for like on just under $200, and you're getting bracelets so-so, but the rest of it is really good. Sapphire, good lume, great looking dial, especially the red one. That's one of my favorites. And then if you throw that on like a strap code bracelet, that's even better.
Okay, next question. Have any of you guys heard of Mortimer watches? I've never heard of them, so I don't have much of an opinion, but
No, I haven't either.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of vintage stuff.
One for the list.
Pretty cool. Okay, so that's an interesting one.
Is it vintage or made to look vintage?
I don't know. Yeah. Hard to tell here. History. This site was created with Wix. Made by... Yeah, it looks like it's a vintage brand. So yeah, I haven't heard of them, but that's an interesting one to check out. Bald Watch Collector wants to know, next in for reviews. Alton, what do you got coming up?
That's a great question. I have 3 or 4 watches on the way, but I don't know when they're showing up, and I can't remember what they are. So I think I might do a couple for my own collection. There's people wanting to know about the Hamilton Navy Pioneer. There's not a lot on that. And I got to review the Alpina and the Bulova. It's just a bunch of my own collection I haven't gotten to.
Yeah, those are great ones to do. I think a lot of times those are the ones that people want to see more than the either new stuff or the stuff that's getting sent around. it's kind of cool to see what people have individually.
Well, you end up doing a lot of micro brands sometimes because they're happy to send them in for review, but they don't get the same kind of attention as just a basic Seiko G-Shock.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a series, not a review, but a video on my G-Shock Square versus my 2100, the Casio, which is better. That's kind of a question that people are asking right now. I want to buy my first Casio G-Shock. Do I get a Casio, which is really popular, or just a basic Square?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Shane, anything exciting coming up?
I always got stuff in the pipeline.
You got a long
Nighthawk that I mentioned. My Instagram showed off that McCurr, like orange and black, really cool looking McCurr turtle.
Cool. Is that a sapphire bezel on that one?
Ceramic, actually.
That's right. Okay.
Although it's real reflective that it looks pretty close to it. And then there's a couple I know you also have, which is what was it? Ayudas? I don't know how to pronounce that one, but the one with the tritium. I think actually did you just put that out?
Posted that one last night.
And then
great video, buddy. I watched that.
The Square. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that one. Vesuviet,
I think.
Vesuviet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
then I always got a bunch that I'm way behind on.
That's a neat watch.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then I got Skatement Time Flieger. It's a follow-up to the Chrono Flieger one I had, and just a variety of other ones. Eventually, I'll get to this, but it'll be a while because it was kind of a impulse buy. And I still got my Hamilton Intramatic I got to review at some point soon.
Yeah, this week the ones I'm going to be working on are that Vesuviet Square watch. So I got 2 Kickstarter watches that I'm working on. So that's out of focus. There we go. Really cool watch. 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, and a case hardening treatment on it. So it's to be really scratch resistant.
Did either of you guys look at the Goodspeed Scout?
I didn't. That one looked kind of cool though.
Yeah, I was supposed to get my hands on it, but then it was canceled, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, did it get canceled? Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, that was a cool one.
That's a cool watch too, Dave. That's a Canadian company.
Yeah, Canadian brand, Thacker Morales. It's another one coming to Kickstarter. I think they're shooting for this month. I think they're still working on getting their campaign set up.
I asked them if I could see one, and they said they didn't have any. So, hey, everyone just spam them and say, Half Past Blog needs to see it. It's Canadian. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, make him seem like a bigger channel than he is.
Everyone go and subscribe. Half Past Blog. Get me up to that 300 level. Actually,
if you guys haven't subscribed to Alton's channel yet, make sure you go subscribe because he puts out some really great videos. I really like.
I do my best.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Quick one here, Shane. What's your current daily wear watch?
It's a tough one sometimes because I'm usually wearing whatever I'm kind of reviewing. Yeah. Consistently over the last couple of months, actually been that Orient Star standard that I recently put out the review of, or the Hamilton Intramatic. I've had pictures on Instagram, but I haven't had videos of it.
Sneaking that one in.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thoughts on the Orient Star Heritage Gothic as an affordable IWC Portuguese or alternative? Probably.
Let me pull up a picture.
My keyboard sounds really loud, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think mine does too.
Need to get.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Great looking clean dial. Yeah. Does it have blued hands?
It looks like it.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
It's blue. I don't know if it's blue. I really like this one. It's one I've kind of thought about getting. I like this sort of style for a dress watch.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like it.
Nice.
What size is it?
I think it's a little bit on the smaller side. I think it's like a.
And the bigger question: what lug width is it?
Let's see if they say down here. 20 millimeter lugs, 38.7 width, 12.5 thick. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's a cool design.
Yeah.
And I'm a sucker for Orient. Let's see. Oh, I think we just jumped down. Got a lot of questions here. Let's see what else we got. All right. $500 watch. Okay, just hit a business goal. Kaylin Buckley, congratulations. What watch should he get for $500? Don't have a lot to go on there, but what do you guys think? $500? Any good suggestions?
Like category?
Yeah, business goal, maybe a dress watch.
Orient Star Standard. Go watch the video. Which is no, seriously, that actually would be potentially a good one. Really gorgeous watch. It's hard to film, but it's a gorgeous in person. Otherwise,
yeah, 500's like that's. There's so many watches at 500. That's a huge range there.
The first thing that jumps to my mind is a classic, just Hamilton khaki.
Yeah,
it's a great business watch. You can dress it down on the weekend. It's classic. Doesn't go out of style.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I would go for right now. I mean, ones that I'm interested around 500. Yeah, I've had the Tissot Visidate kind of on my list for a while. That's up in that price range.
It's a great
really classic dress watch.
Great for the office.
If you're looking for a dress watch, yeah, that would be one I'd check out. 500. You know, for a while you could find those Glycine Airmen for around 500. They seem like they've jumped up a bit in price, but that's one that I've really been wanting to pick up for a while too. I know Shane's got one, and that was popular guest in the chat. That almost made it on his list today.
Yeah.
But that one, just a lot of rich history there. Really cool kind of vintage pilot's watch or travel watch looks to it. And every time I see that one pop up on Instagram, it's like, I really want that one.
The combat sub is great too. It's nice and thin, and it slips under a cuff easily.
Yeah, it's amazingly thin. And there's a couple different styles too.
Is Traska makes some really nice watches around the price point, don't they?
Yeah, they're probably around $500. They're sometimes hit or miss to what they have in stock. But like the Traska, the Summiteer.
That new Orion Calamity looks nice, but I think it's around 800.
Probably maybe
diver.
More. Yeah,
it's pretty.
Orion makes great watches. They're a little overpriced, but you're getting kind of the personal attention to it. Yeah. So it's very much more like a boutique brand. But the Hellcat's really nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. Yeah, another red dial watch.
Yeah. Or maybe a Notice Sector. I think that's probably around.
If you go switch over to micro, there's some cool ones there.
That would be a great one for the office / going for drinks after.
Kind of good do it all. Yeah. All right, Owen Davies, what do you all think the next trend within the industry will be? The next trend within the industry. We have had blue dial sport watches, bronze watches, and currently a vintage revival. What's next? I really don't have much of a thumb on the industry movement myself. What do you guys think? Any predictions for 2021?
I think colorful watches seem to be a thing. Rolex came out with some really bright ones, and I don't know. I think that might be it. Definitely, we're still riding that vintage watch train for a while.
Yeah.
And smaller watches is also more in vogue now.
Yeah. I do know that just from talking with brands, there's a lot of micro brands releasing field watches this year.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Last year was all dive watches. This year, I think there's going to be a ton of field watches coming from the micro brand sector. So that's not like a big industry trend, but a lot of guys in the affordable sector are interested in micro brands. Yeah. So if you like field watches, 2021's I think going to be a good year for you for that.
Yeah, I mean, just in the last few months, reviewed the Swiss watch company Bunker that already sold out really quick. Vario Trench was really cool too.
White dials rock the watch. White dials are definitely new hotness. Yeah.
Anybody had any experience with the Spinnaker Spence Bauhaus model? Bauhaus?
No.
Bauhaus.
I've lost track of Spinnaker.
I have a Spence in for review right now, but it's not that model. I think it's still the Spinnaker. They have their public relations team says which dates you're allowed to release images. I don't think it's hit that one yet, so I'm not allowed to show it. But it's not the Bauhaus one. That's the first Spinnaker Spence I've taken a look at, and it's pretty cool. Like kind of really classic Spinnaker. Good case size, fun colors. I wish it had a sapphire crystal, a little bit better lume, but I don't have any particular experience with the Bauhaus version of it.
Yeah, neither. I haven't talked to Spinnaker in a while myself.
Okay, Jason Rowland, just back to Sternglass on Kickstarter. Over 1,000 backers. Looks amazing, but not a single review out there. Thoughts? Amazing specs, sharp lifting, Yoda 9015, etc. See if we can pull that up. I reviewed a Sternglass before. I really liked it. I think for the specs, there's better values out there, but they are German made or German assembled, German designed watches. They use a lot of Miyota movements, and for a Bauhaus style, they're really cool. I really like the one that I've reviewed. It was about a year ago. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. Maybe this is the one he's talking about.
3 days to go.
Let's see. Is this it? Yeah, 3 days to go. Let me pull that up. It's a real kind of classic, simple Bauhaus style. But that's a cool looking dial. Something really clean like that. I don't know. It's surprisingly hard to pull off something this simple. But Sternglass seems to do pretty good. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's sort of a cool inverted,
like curved sort of
dial.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice touch. They have it as a wall clock too. That's interesting. Oh, the Zirkel was the one that I reviewed. Yeah, so they made this one a lot thinner. That's cool too. Wow, 8.5 millimeters thin. That's nice. Oh, is that without the crystal?
Hard to say sometimes.
It looks like it looks like without the crystal. So 8.5 is going up to the crystal.
Which I'm always annoyed with when they do, but that's me.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of fair. So that's what they're really advertising. Let's say what the total is. 299 euros. Yeah, I know. It looks like a pretty cool one. And usually the Kickstarter prices, it is a good deal. Once it goes retail, it's a little bit iffier, but yeah, I like it. Let's see, where are we in here? Anyone recommend a table shower safe watch? Table shower safe.
Typo?
Maybe you just meant a shower safe watch. And for me, anything 100 meters water resistance, I'm pretty comfortable taking in the shower. I've showered with 100-meter watches pretty frequently and not had any problems with steam. If you're really worried, get a G-Shock.
Pretty much.
I
Personally,
never wear mine in the shower.
Yeah, neither do I.
No.
I'm more worried about the surfactants from the soap kind of eventually killing the seal, but that's long term.
Yeah, JDM timepieces. I've done a couple. So I reviewed a JDM Orient a while back. I mean, the Orient Star is technically that Sports Outdoors. That's a JDM release. It's not widely available in the U.S. Every once in a while I get some in there. I typically purchase for the channel, so I try and focus on watches that are easily available.
Yeah, you should look at Casio Oceanus.
Yeah,
So
I really want to get one of those.
Yeah. I was very close to buying one right before the pandemic kind of hit, and then shipping out of Japan started getting a little hairy. So
let me see here. I'm going to pull up my Amazon Japan wish list here. Actually, you're going to see a lot of camera gear too, but let me get past that. So I can find some. Where is it? So this one I'm really interested in. I don't think this one's available outside the US, but for me, this is kind of like the true replacement for the Nighthawk. Kind of similar metal bracelet watch, GMT. This one you're getting a world timer on it though. Same knurled crown. So it kind of looks similar, and it's available for like right around $200.
That's not bad.
So this is one I'm probably going to pick up, but I haven't seen it available outside of Japan much, or at least not in the States. So that's the main hesitation of why I haven't gotten this one yet. It's just because if I review it, a lot of people are going to want it and might not be able to get it. But I really like the way this one's looking. I think that $200 price range is kind of a tough one. You don't see a lot of reviews of watches right around there. And that's a price range I think is appealing to a lot of people. I know that was the price range that I targeted when I first started collecting. So I'm interested in trying to find some of the really good $200.
Before you really went down the rabbit hole in terms of prices.
It happens quickly.
Yeah. Once you buy one watch, it's such a price. It's like, oh, that's not bad. I can do it again.
I can. Yeah, that didn't hurt so bad.
A little bit more. That's not bad.
I remember 3 years ago telling my wife, look at this $200 watch. She said, $200 for a watch? I said, yeah, but it's the only watch I'll ever need.
Did she buy it?
I did not end up buying it. I did more research and found out that it was not a great watch. It was more of a fashion watch. And yeah.
Do you want to share what it was? Or
I don't even remember. I don't. Some minimalist, made in China, $200 thing. Yeah.
Okay. How about this one from AI or Al? AI? I don't know. Do you think that the current state of affairs globally has sparked a boom of sports watches for the collecting community? Like people are, what?
Oh, boom
of sports.
Yeah.
Not
oh, boom of
sports.
sorts. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people sitting at home shopping for watches and watching YouTube videos now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of channels formed in the past year.
Yeah.
A lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And a lot of shopping is being done online.
Yeah, I remember right when things started getting hairy, talking to, I won't say what it was, another one microbrand owner, and they were just about to start their Kickstarter, and I was like, I don't know if now's the right time, but it was extremely successful, so evidently a lot of people sitting around.
A lot of micro brands.
Yeah, a challenge for a lot of them though has been the production
harder
delays.
for them to get supplies and a lot of delays in terms of production, but a lot of ideas floating around. So I guess
I just did one that was born out of a failed business. So he said, "Well, I got nothing else to do. I might as well start my own watch company," and so I just released a video for that company, Van Banner.
Yeah, the Parking Master. That's such an interesting take on a watch.
Definitely has a sense of humor. It's a quirky watch, but really well made for
I like it.
$197.
I mean, I have used a parking meter way more times than I have gone scuba diving. So why not, right?
Yeah.
It works. I used it.
Let's see. Because I think we're getting to the end of the questions here. We've been going for a while. Yeah.
Although, what % of the watch collecting community do you think actually has dove with a watch? That'll be one of my questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a segment out there of divers that are interested. Yeah, but probably not like actually gone like scuba diving. I've never been. Like I've gone snorkeling a couple times in my life. I swim in the ocean a lot, but never not much actual diving.
Yeah, I think I'd say about 4%, maybe 2.
Yeah, probably pretty low. Yeah, Pete's growing.
Because I remember when I put out a video of like actually diving with my one Vostok, and I didn't think anybody would watch it, but there was just like actually got a pretty good response, just because I guess people hadn't actually seen it that often.
All right, Jason Rollins. So you talking actual scuba diving? You scuba diver, and you take the Orient Blu-ray down with you?
Nice.
I've heard a lot of scuba divers. They take like an actual watch as a backup and then dive with a dive computer.
Yeah, if you're a real diver, you're gonna have a dive computer. I'm very casual, so only times I go is on vacation, and I have a dive master with me to tell me when to surface. But I have my watch on just because I want it. Most of the time, when you're watching stuff, you're actually looking at your oxygen meter, because that's really going to tell you when you need to surface.
All right. Yeah, so I think that's kind of wrapping up most of the questions here. We still got some interesting stuff come through, but it's getting close to lunchtime over here, and we've been going for about an hour and a half. So still got a lot of people hanging on, though. 46.
That's good.
Great to have the support. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. That's awesome. Especially with the Super Bowl going on.
I know. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have the TV on, too, but we don't mind.
Is that over yet? 6:30.
Yeah, who won the Super Bowl? You guys allowed to say?
It's been 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Should be.
I don't even know who's in it.
Fourth quarter still.
I'm still going.
Tampa Bay is winning.
All right. Yeah, maybe that's why I bet when the Super Bowl ends, that's when everyone's going to clock in.
Yeah.
What time is it over there for you guys? It's about lunchtime here.
8:30 for me. It's probably 9:30 for you.
9:30 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that has been episode 2 of Collection Conundrum. I believe the plan we're thinking for episode 3 is that we're going to head over to Shane's channel.
Yep.
That sounds right. Going to give it a shot over there.
Dave
so keep an eye out for that. So the next episode will probably be moved over to relative time. So if you're not subscribed to Shane's channel, make sure you go subscribe to his. Obviously, I'll be posting updates and stuff when we get
probably
to that.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll probably be a couple weeks from now. We usually take a couple week break in between episodes, but and if you have any feedback,
we're going to get a 4th guest, right? We're going to get a real
No,
Are
next episode is me. I'm the
Thank you.
real
Yeah.
guest.
Dave, and then we'll
Yeah.
get a fourth in
And
here.
then a real guest.
And
a real
feel free
guest
to
after me.
suggest some potential real guests down below in a comment.
Yeah, definitely
that
drop,
give
yeah,
us
drop
suggestions
some
that we can
comments
contact.
under this video, not necessarily just in the chat because the chat tends to disappear and hard to see. But if you have any any guests that you would like to see, we can maybe reach out to them and try and get them to come and present 5 watches on a future episode. And yeah, but the next episode, I'll be sharing a 5-watch collection, so I got to put that together, and it will probably be over on Shane's channel on Relative Time. We'll be hosting it there. But that'll kind of be for the show. We'll probably, yeah. I mean, I'm interested in keeping going this. So as long as Shane and Alton are up for it, hopefully we'll find some other interesting guys to bring on here and see what everybody's got.
Just getting started.
But I think that's going to wrap it up for today. So thank you guys all for tuning in. And again, make sure you're subscribed to all the channels so you can get updates. But that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.